just have it on its own. It's gorgeous on its own, and that will cure your ills. I mean, I think legally I can't tell you that this is going to cure a cold, but if you've got a cold, it's going to make you feel a damn sight better. Trust me. I'll be honest, I burnt the crap out of my tongue when I was tasting that, so I let it cool down a little bit because it's fucking hot. But that is good soup. You know. Like, comment, subscribe. You know. Chicken hands, wash them. Got some chicken thighs. Couldn't get.
Sorry, I don't understand.
I wasn't talking to you. You don't need to understand. Yeah. Oh, hang on, I'm gonna check my phone actually. I haven't looked at my phone in hours. Heidi, hi campers. Everyone's getting sick. It's that time of the year. It's not only Corona. Everyone's catching sniffles. So, we're gonna use the super stock that I made in this video, which I have skimmed all of the fat off of, because I said in the video, you chill it down, it's gonna go really gelatinous, because we cooked it with a load of bones in there, but you're gonna get a fat on top, so we skim that fat off. But we're gonna use that to make a chicken and mushroom noodle soup. Super fancy one, really warming, hearty winter soup, but we're gonna have some nice mushrooms in there. So these are some fancy mushrooms. They're fancy, they're just not the standard sort of mushrooms. So we've got a mix of shitake, these are yellow oyster, this is a king oyster, and then we've got these, the little ones are called shirataki mushrooms. So we've got a decent little mix of them. I'm gonna fry them off, add some flavour, and then chuck them in the pot. Some noodles, chicken thighs. Couldn't get bone in. I would prefer to make this with bone in chicken thighs, just to add even more flavour. But thankfully we're using our homemade super stock, so there's loads of that in there. I'm gonna top that up a bit. I've got half a litre of just normal, made from a cube stock pot stock, because the noodles are gonna slurp up a load of stock, so we wanna water that down a little bit. Some carrots, I've got some leek, got a little bit of garlic, got some dill, and we've got some bay leaves. And we're just going to chuck in some miso and some soy. So it's kind of going to be a hearty European chicken stew, but with like a chicken soup, but with a nod to a more sort of Japanese, Asian chicken ramen sort of thing going on. First things first, we are going to make some space, because I've cluttered up the chopping board with loads of stuff. First things first, we're going to address our leek. So I'm just going to give this a quick rinse. So we are just going to take the bottom off and take that there off, where it starts to get a bit fibrous. I am going to slice this into rings like that. You can do it however you like. And now, first things first, that's going to go in. This is preheated a little bit. We're going to put a little glug of oil in there, not too much. And we're just going to go in there with our leek. Just start to sweat that down, brown it off a little bit. Much like making the stock, we are going to be careful with the salt levels, because we don't know where salt's been introduced in other places prior with the stock. So we are going to add a little pinch of salt, only a little pinch of salt to that leek, just to help draw out a bit of that moisture. And I'm just going to gently sweat that down a little bit while we get on with a few other bits. Oh, we're going to go in there with a bit of garlic as well. Just crush it in there, finely mince it. And I'm just going to sweat that down in there with that. So we are on a low heat, we don't want anything burning. Right, carrots. You can put any root vegetables you want in here. I'm going with carrots because they had a bit of colour. Everything else is quite white, pale, bit of green, a bit of orange even, not going to hurt. Parsnip, turnip, swede, they're all quite nice in this as well. I just went for carrot. I'm going to, I can't remember what the name of this cut is, but cut it diagonal, quarter turn it, cut it diagonal, quarter turn it, cut it diagonal, and you just keep going like that, and you end up with these irregular, regular shape. I just think look kind of cool, a bit rustic. Right, so we're going to go in there with these carrots. While that's doing that, we can go for the mushrooms. So, most of these mushrooms I'm going to leave whole. Right, so the shiitakes I am going to just slice like that into kind of little strips. That one can just go in half. What we want is we don't want big massive chunks of mushroom that we can't get in our mouth when we're eating. The oyster mushrooms, unless this one's very big, I'm going to slice that like that. The rest of these, they're just going to shrivel up a bit and they're going to break down in the pan. The only one that does need slicing is obviously this king oyster. I'm just going to, similar to the carrots, cut a kind of on the bias chunk. Down the middle on that as well. Down the middle there. Just so that it's, you know, a manageable amount of mushroom that you can eat. The shiitakes, or I can't remember what the little one's called. I'm going to leave them whole. Now, we've sweated down the leeks. Got a tiniest little bit of colour on them maybe. Garlic and the carrots have got a bit aromatic. I'm going to go in there with our stocks. Super stock is very gelatinous, so it's going to probably need a bit of help to come out. This stuff is flavour gold, so you want to make sure you get as much of it out as possible. It might not, at this point, look particularly appealing, but that is because it's chilled down in the fridge, and to the point where what we're going to do is we're going to put our hot, freshly made stock in here, and rinse it out. Give that a shake up, get all of that goodness out, and we'll go in there. Right, so we give that a stir. Whack the lid on. I'm going to turn the heat up a bit, get that to come up to a boil. While we're doing that, this pan, get it rocket hot. You go in there, a tablespoon of oil. We're going to super hot, super quick, fry off all our mushrooms. Right, bit of honesty time. There wasn't as much stock in there as I thought there was going to be, so I've made up another 500ml just to. If we're making soup, it's a bulk. It's a bulk thing. You don't want to just make a little bit here and there. So there's about a litre of our homemade stock and a litre of the shop bought normal everyday chicken stock. Got a kitchen towel on the side ready for when our mushrooms are done. It's not going to take long. Go in with them. I'm going to go in with all of these. Right, now we've got a nice bit of colour on those mushrooms. Gonna quickly dump them out onto this kitchen towel. Quickly dab off any excess oil, and then we can just go straight into this pot with that. We are also, now that's come up to a boil, pretty much come up to a boil. I've got chicken thigh fillets. Like I said, I prefer bone in, but I can't put bone in. I'm just gonna put them in there whole. I'm gonna poach them in there, and then they'll start falling apart when they're cooked. Chicken hands, wash them. Right, and we are going to add about a tablespoon soy sauce and a couple of teaspoons of miso, a couple of bay leaves, because anything you cook in a pot needs some bay leaves, and I like a bit of dill. I love dill in the chicken soup, so we've got the best part of a bunch of dill. So now, we don't want to reduce this down lots, so we are going to put the lid on, make sure that lid's on, and we're going to put it on a lower heat. And we're just going to let that poach that chicken for about 10 minutes. Come back, add the noodles, and then we're going to devour some really, really gorgeous chicken noodle soup. So, back in about 10-15 minutes. Alright, 10-15 minutes. Chicken should be, let's have a little look, nice and poached. Start breaking it down if you want. And we're at our noodles. So these are just standard sort of fine egg noodles. You can use whatever noodles you want. You can even go with macaroni, spaghetti, penne, any pasta you want. We don't want to reduce that down anymore because it's already got loads of flavour in there. Reduce it down, it's just going to start getting really, oh my god. Those noodles are going to absorb a load of moisture, so we want to keep a lid on it to make sure we keep as much moisture in as possible. But obviously that's going to ramp the temperature up. We don't want it to boil over, so keep it, balance the heat. They're only going to take about 10 minutes to cook those noodles, if that. 5 minutes later. Need a ladle. Where's the ladle? Right. So, give it another stir. Make sure that all those noodles are broken up and not just one big clump of noodles in the middle of the soup. I like them long, like that. If you wanted to, you could have broken those the pellets, the puck of noodle up on the way in. What you're going to need to do though is, as always, but very especially now, give this a taste. Probably not going to need any salt. The soy sauce and the miso are a bit salty. The stock that we made, the homemade stock, is by definition a bit salty just because of the ham hock that was in there. But the carrots, the mushrooms, the onions, there's a lot of things that have gone in there that could have done with a bit of seasoning. Mine's alright salty wise, but I quite like soup to be quite peppery. So I'm going to go in there with a fair bit of black pepper. You go with how much black pepper you want. You might not need any, might not want any. And there we go. That is the best chicken noodle soup you'll probably ever have. If I say so myself. Get yourself a nice big ladle for soup. Make sure you get noodles, some mushrooms and some chicken. There we go, chicken noodle soup. Bit of leek, got some mushroom, bit of soy, bit of miso, bit of dill. It's beautiful, say so myself. Have it with a nice bit of crusty bread. Just have it on its own, it's gorgeous on its own. And that will cure your ills. I mean, I think legally I can't tell you that this is going to cure a cold. But if you've got a cold, it's going to make you feel a damn sight better. Trust me. I'll be honest, I burnt the crap out of my tongue when I was tasting that. So I let it cool down a little bit because it's fucking hot. But that is good soup. If you want to take the chicken out and break it all up and make sure it's all well distributed in the soup, you can do, but I like it like that, you know. There you go. Alright peeps, you know, like, comment, subscribe, you know. And then go and enjoy your soup, like I'm going to. Bienvenue.